The trip to Mauna Lani, Keawanui, on the west coast of the Big Island took place on September 23, 1998. Students from the Hawaii Preparatory Academy and scientists from the National Marine Fisheries Service's Honolulu Laboratory were involved. In addition, George Balaz brought along 4 guests from around the world to observe the operation. There were 19 HPA students and 4 faculty members along with George's party of 7. The group arrived at Mauna Lani at 7:30 in the morning and immediately began unloading the capture equipment. There was a great deal of equipment to work with, and everyone helped to carry it over to the capture site. A team of students helped launch the capture boat and get it ready for George Watson to take over to the work area. The boat will be used to pick up animals captured by scuba divers offshore. Once all the equipment had been transported, the group was assembled and a briefing conducted. The history of the area was discussed by George so that our guests from Micronesia, Barbados, Japan, and Mexico had a feeling for the uniqueness of the Keawanui area. General procedures and safety issues were covered in detail. As soon as the briefing was over, it was decided to net off the Keawanui Inlet to capture a few turtles that we had observed feeding in the shallows. The net was readied and put out across the neck of the bay, and the turtles were then herded into the net. Once the turtles were caught in the net, they were removed and placed into large inner tubes for transport back to shore. While the net capture was proceeding, the scuba group got ready and entered the water in the area of the boat ring. They would swim out, escorted by the catch boat, to the ledges and caves where turtles could be found resting. As the divers descend, they begin working the area along the reef edge in 15 to 50 feet of water. They swim along the ledges of the reef and look in the crevices and caves for resting turtles. Divers always work in groups of 2 or 3 for safety reasons. If the dive team sees turtles swimming, they do not attempt to capture them, as it is usually impossible. They wait until they find a resting animal. While the scuba group was working, George and his guests snorkeled out to help capture turtles and to observe the area. George sees a capture take place and points it out. Jessica is assisted with a small turtle to the surface to await the arrival of the catch boat. Jessica captures another turtle and points out, rather excitedly, that there is another turtle resting nearby. "Get it," she indicates, and the diver is able to get over to capture it and bring it safely to the surface. Once the dive is over, the divers swim back to shore and the boat is brought in close to unload the captured turtles. The turtles are placed in tubes for easy and safe transport up to the work area. Everyone is involved in the work, which makes it much easier and safer for both humans and turtles. The turtles are placed under a tarp to keep them shaded and calm. George assigns tasks to people and begins taking all of the standard measurements of the turtles. A group of students is put to work weighing the turtles. Because we are only using internal pit tags now and no external tags, a number is often etched into the carapace of the turtle with a Dremel tool, and the number is painted so that it will show up in the future. This will enable people to identify the turtle from a distance when they are diving or if the turtle is seen basking. A pit tag is placed in the left front flipper. An additional pit tag will be placed in the left hind flipper. Students and researchers work together to read information from computers regarding tagging history, help to handle the turtles, help to tag and measure the turtles, and finally help to release them when all the work is done. When tourists come by, they're very curious about what's going on, oftentimes worried that we're hurting the animals. Here, one of our students explains the project to a foreign visitor from Germany. Finally, the last turtle is finished and carried down to the water by students for release. After the release of the last turtle, all the equipment is packed away and ready for departure. Now it's time for that all-important group picture. First, the guests. From the left, we have Andy from Micronesia, Sean, Research Associate of George in Honolulu, Tomo, going to school in Florida, originally from Japan, George, Denise, Research Associate for George, Lotus from Barbados, Laura from Mexico, and Danny and Marty from the Mauna Lani Bay Hotel. Here you have the entire group of participants who helped make this a very successful trip. To all our guests, we say aloha and thank you for joining us. It was a special event for us.